High above the city streets, the wind is howling. There's literally nothing but a sheer, terrifying drop below. A young man is scaling the steep metal architecture of a world-famous landmark. Two people standing on the very edge of the world. No safety nets, just raw adrenaline, intense focus, and a moment that was about to completely break the internet. Millions of people worldwide watch this footage. I want you to just take a second and really think about the sheer scale of that digital illusion. This wasn't just some fleeting clip you scroll past. This was a massive visual spectacle. It was shared, reshared, and broadcast across feeds globally. People were entirely captivated. They were completely drawn into this powerful, emotional story that seemed to be playing out in real time right before their eyes. Millions truly believed they were witnessing the greatest love story of the year, unfolding high up in the clouds. The narrative was intoxicating. A fearless couple, a breathtaking climb, and a shocking proposal. People watched with bated breath as this heart-stopping moment unfolded. It was this perfect blend of extreme danger and intense romance. The global audience was hooked on this seemingly flawless, spontaneous display of raw emotion. And the reaction? Absolutely explosive. One phrase just kept echoing across the globe: the ultimate act of love. Comment sections on every major platform were flooded with profound admiration. People were totally swept away by the sheer romance of the whole shebang. It wasn't just a viral hit anymore. It was a cultural moment, a digital phenomenon driven entirely by the intense emotional reaction of the public. Okay, let's dive into this, because here's the unbelievable twist. That story that millions shared, the narrative that brought literal tears to people's eyes across the world, it wasn't completely true. The internet, in all its collective power, got the facts completely wrong. What everyone accepted as unquestionable reality was actually a massive distortion. The truth behind this stunning footage is even more fascinating and unbelievable than the myth that went viral. In this explainer, we're going to map out exactly how this happened. 1. The greatest viral illusion. 2. Uncovering the unbelievable twist. 3. The real daredevil couple. 4. Anatomy of a false story. And 5. The truth about virality. Part 1. The greatest viral illusion. Millions, every single day, thousands of videos go viral, but the vast majority of them disappear within hours. They're a flash in the pan. But this footage, this was different. It captured the attention of millions around the world in record time. The velocity at which this spread was absolutely staggering. We're not talking about a few thousand likes here. We're talking about a massive, global, synchronized viewing event. The internet completely blindly accepted a very specific, perfectly packaged narrative. A young man climbs to prove his love. And crucially, it was firmly set according to the viral captions and everyone basically just agreeing on the iconic Eiffel Tower in Paris. I mean, it perfectly played into our romantic ideals, right? This combination of the ultimate romantic city, a world-famous landmark, and a daring proposal sparked a massive global debate that kept the footage trending day after day. Which brings us to part 2, uncovering the unbelievable twist. It really begs the question, what did investigators actually find when they looked a little deeper? When journalists, verified reporters, and digital sleuths started peeling back the layers of these viral posts, when they started looking at the background, the architecture, the original sources, what was actually hidden right there in plain sight? And this brilliantly illustrates the massive gap between digital fiction and reality. Over on the left, we've got the internet's absolute certainty, the claim that this breathtaking climb happened on the Eiffel Tower in Paris. But on the right, the verified reality, the proposal actually took place on the spire of the Empire State Building in New York, completely different architecture, an entirely different continent. The internet had completely relocated this massive event, and millions of people never even questioned it. Let's move into part 3, the real daredevil couple. Meet Angela Nicolau and Ivan Birkis. These are the verified identities behind the viral fame. They're the ones who captured those heart-stopping angles. And revealing their names changes the entire context of the footage. This wasn't just some reckless amateur risking everything on a whim for love. No, this was a highly calculated, incredibly deliberate act by two people who know exactly what they're doing. See, Angela and Ivan are what's known as roof-toppers. They're professional urban climbers. These are highly skilled individuals who ascend massive, incredibly dangerous structures. They're experts at navigating extreme heights and capturing angles that feel, frankly, visceral to the rest of us. They understand the wind, the architecture, the terrifying drops. And knowing that fundamentally shifts the story, doesn't it? It goes from a reckless act of spontaneous love to a professional, masterful feat of urban climbing that just happened to culminate in a deeply personal moment. Now for part 4, Anatomy of a False Story. Let's move to the timeline and see how this builds. Step 1, the actual reality, where the spectacular climb and proposal happen on the Empire State Building. Step 2, the first viral post drops online featuring those breathtaking close-up shots and dizzying views. Step 3 is where the break from reality happens. Through a massive game of digital telephone, someone misattributes the location to the Eiffel Tower, likely because tower plus romance immediately equals Paris in our collective imagination. Step 4, widespread global belief takes over and the false context is completely locked in. And finally, Step 5, journalist investigation and verified reports have to come in after the fact to correct the record and reveal the true identities of Angela and Ivan. What's genuinely fascinating is how this false context polarized the audience. On one hand, you had immense emotional admiration, with people viewing it as the ultimate act of love. Then you had pure disbelief and shock. Folks were simply amazed by the dizzying height. But on the other hand, you had intense analytical criticism, calling the whole thing completely reckless. The wild irony here is that the people calling it a reckless stunt by amateurs didn't know they were watching professional rooftopers, and the people swooning over a Parisian romance didn't know they were looking at New York. Millions were deeply divided over a narrative that wasn't even factually accurate to begin with. Which brings us to our final chapter, part 5, the truth about virality. So the crucial point is how these 4 steps dictate exactly what we consume online every single day. Step 1, a visual spectacle, like stunning, suspenseful footage of a dizzying climb, captures our attention. Step 2, as it's shared rapidly, the original factual context is completely stripped away. Step 3, the internet assigns a more perfect, easily digestible narrative. Because let's face it, Eiffel Tower love story is simply a catchier myth than professional rooftopers on the Empire State Building. In step 4, through sheer repetition by millions of users, that myth literally becomes the new viral reality. The core takeaway from this explainer is that the story completely changed as it spread across the internet. It was molded, it was shaped, and it was entirely relocated by the collective assumptions of millions of users. It really highlights just how fragile digital truth can be. When you combine intense visuals with deep emotional resonance, our critical thinking often takes a backseat. We just accept the caption because the video is too spectacular to question. Which leaves us with this final, lingering thought. If a story this enormous, featuring incredibly clear footage of one of the world's most famous skylines, could be completely relocated and rewritten by the internet, what else are you scrolling past right now that simply isn't true?